Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found your way here. I am Teresa, and today I'm sharing this test drive in progress layout with you, featuring the Kellybell designs around the track digital collection. This is a hybrid layout, and so I thought I would pop into Photoshop with you and share with you how I created the background road on the background of this page. And so what you see here is the basic page as it's been designed in Photoshop. This is the CC version on a PC, and you can see that the road there is the tire mark pattern paper along with the gray kind of curb, and then it's backed by two of the pattern papers, creating a bit of movement here and setting up the overall page design. Notice how the photos and the embellishments and the title all follow that line. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into this layout and turn off all the layers except for the background pattern papers and the road, so you can see that without the embellishments. And then I'm going to build this road for you so you can do it on your own PC or on your own computer and print this out for yourselves. And so the first thing I'm doing is adding a new layer, and then in the rectangle tool, selecting a fill and no stroke. And so I'm just drawing a straight rectangle here on top of those two pattern papers. And then you go into the pen tool. If you left click on the pen tool and hold it down, the other tools within that general tool will pop up, and you're going to select the curvature pen tool. And what that's going to allow you to do is select a spot on any part of this rectangle. It's going to bring up this box. Just say yes, and then you can move those the little tiny rectangles will pop up, and it will allow you to move those lines of the rectangle and turn it into any kind of shape that you're looking to create. And I encourage you to play around with this. For me, this tool has helped me to create the other backgrounds that I've created that feature so much movement and excitement on the background. And this is definitely a good theme and a good layout for excitement and for movement. And so what I'm going to do is just kind of create the S shape that this road is showing here, and just kind of showing you where on the rectangle, the now swervy rectangle that we're creating, how I've done that. You'll notice, because I'm in the curvature pen tool, that it makes a lot of these lines more curved. Check that out. That's making it look a bit more like what we want. So you will see some of the lines at the bottom that are now curved, and if you just drag those up, they'll straighten out again. And I don't worry too much about what's off screen, because that's not going to print anyway. And we will go back in a minute and change that again. But right now, we're just dealing with this rectangle itself. And then once you have the one side figured out where you want it, just go over to the right hand side and kind of repeat it. That's kind of what I've done for this particular page. in this particular situation, but you may be drawing a different shape or whatever, and that's all right too. This is a pretty simple shape actually, but it doesn't need to be complex because we're just using this as a background, and so a lot of it isn't going to really show behind the photos and the embellishments. We just want to kind of establish a direction. And also, this is a lot more exciting than just, boom, here's 2 pattern papers on the background. There's nothing wrong with that. That can be fun too, but I'm all about doing extra things on these pages, and I really do love incorporating movement. What will end up happening is once we add the car will be sort of at the middle of the top of the page and kind of bringing your eye in and leading you down the page. So once you have your shape the way you want it, you can bring in your pattern paper that you want to clip to it. Drag that in over top of your swervy rectangle now and right click on that page and select Create Clipping Mask. And now, ta-da, your pattern paper is also that shape. Now, to create the curb of the road, I simply added a stroke to this. At the bottom, you'll see at the bottom of the layers menu, you'll see the FX button, and you simply hit create a stroke on the bottom of that little pop-up. And you can choose a color you want. I chose gray just to keep it within the color palette of the collection. But you could do a different color if you wanted to. This is often how I create a stroke around my photos, how I create a white border around my photos. And then notice how once you click that into place, it will show at the bottom and the top of the rectangle. And so I'm just going to stretch that a little bit so that the top and bottom stroke is off the page and you don't even see it. It won't print or anything like that. And then the other thing, in order to have a little bit of dimension to this street or road, almost like, or the racetrack, almost like it's a little bit elevated, I'm adding a drop shadow, and that is also in the FX menu at the bottom of the layers tool. And play around a little bit with this. I leave this on the linear burn setting, and then you can adjust the opacity, how dark or light it shows up on your page. And you can also adjust the angle that it's coming in at. And of course, the size and the intensity of your drop shadow as well. And that concludes that part of the process video today. So here is this background pattern paper printed out, and I thought I would show you the other items also printed and cut. I do print on a Canon Pixma IX6820. It's a wide format. The background is printed on a sort of matte photo paper, and then everything else is printed on a glossy photo paper. So the 3 photos here, notice how I printed out 2 larger photos and 1 small photo, and they're going to fit rather nicely in with the swerve of the test track. This is my title. This is one of the word art pieces in the collection. And then, of course, always a fun little selection of embellishments, also printed and cut. I cut on a Silhouette Cameo 4. I love that. I love that machine. and love how these look when they're printed out. So putting the layout together now, adding the photos first and foremost, just because they are a pretty important part of this page. And of course, notice how I'm placing them to sort of follow that curve of the test track. And I'm also, the smaller photo at the bottom leaves a little bit of space for the title right next to it. And so I'm going to pop the title up with foam tape. The photos are adhered just directly to the background paper. And then I'm going to pop up the title so that it stands a bit out from the background of the page. And that will also allow me to tuck in some of the embellishments. So as always, some of the embellishments will be tucked underneath the title, and some of them will sit on top of the title. So I'm diving right in here and just sort of adding some of the base pieces here to get a good spacing for everything where it's wanting to go. So this guardrail is going to go across the bottom. And then I'm adding the crash test dummy and the yellow and black yield sign there behind him. And then they're getting tucked underneath the title. And then, of course, some word strips. They always, to me, look really good underneath the title. So that one stuck a little bit earlier than I planned, but that's all right. We'll cover up everything in scrapbooking. Cover up where that mistake happened just a little bit with another word strip. And what I'm doing is having these flow in together to sort of meet each other. And so the journaling here is on one of the tags. And this one I thought was particularly cute. It's got a little punched hole there. And then this road work ahead sign is a great little embellishment to pop up there and add in between these two kind of almost separate clusters, but now they belong together. Sort of curving up around the title there, and all of it working to lead your eye down the page. There's one of the flags from the collection as well, the red one. I flipped that to face the other side so that it would fit here on this side of the page. And then I'm going to build up beside the right-hand side of the title here, adding the barrel and the hexagon that says "Life is a Highway." I love that reference to the Cars movie. That's very fitting here. And then the Mickey ears, they're popped up on pop dots and actually sit on top of the title, just off to the E, off to the right hand side of the E there. And then these NASCAR flags. Does NASCAR belong at test track? No, not really. But those indicate a win, although the rest of the theme of this layout kind of indicates that they might be going the wrong way. So a little tongue-in-cheek humor there. Here's the car that I mentioned, that it's going sort of midway at the top of the test track there. And it is directly touching the first photo as well. And notice how there are just a few elements that are actually touching or overlaying the photos. I don't know why I'm pointing that out, but it's just part of the movement of the page. But also, I feel like that red car, it's, the photos themselves are kind of darker, right? Because it's dark in that ride and when you're waiting for that ride. But the red pops against those darker colors in the photos. You also get a little lead across the page here with the Tomorrowland graphic there, and the date strip there, and the word strip as well. So they don't quite touch the red car, and that's all right. You still get a feeling visually that it's connected, and it also helps that top photo gets to be kind of the main photo for this page, I feel like. A couple more things here, just adding the purple and the blue flag there at the top, and the detour ahead sign. I've got this little circle bit that I think I'm gonna, yes, I tucked that underneath the yellow and black caution sign there, and one more little sign here, the wrong way, going behind the car. So they're officially on the wrong way, but the layout here is complete now. I'm so glad you joined me for this fun Disney page. They're always the best. And I will have the links to the Around the Track digital collection down below. As always, I hope to see you back here again real soon. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.